Hello, girls. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a very special edition of Beyond the Shop and also for Sequins and Sand because this is Melanoma Week. And I'm joined, everything is always opposite, by the beautiful Tamra Betts today, a very, very special guest. I'm so honored to have Tamra here because we are going to share with you, and I've already got tingles thinking about it. We have to help each other get through this, Tamra. We are going to share a very special story about melanoma, about Emma, Tamra's daughter. And we're hoping that by sharing this story, you'll become more aware of what melanoma is, what is being done to find a cure, and how you can help do that with us. So to help find that cure. So we are going to start off by saying, well, I am. Hello, Tamra, and welcome to this chat today. Welcome.
Hi, Anita, and everyone else watching.
Yeah, we've got to remember that people are going to be watching this, and that's a bit surreal, isn't it? I know it's kind of strange. We think we're just having a chat, but there's going to be other people watching at some stage. And how are you feeling? You're breathing all right? I know this is a bit of a new.
Yes, I'm breathing.
You're doing very well. I'm so grateful, Tamra. Thank you so much for being here today. This is such an important message, and what you do is incredible. You have to know that. You are amazing.
Thank you.
I first met your beautiful daughter, Emma, back in, you and I worked out, it was 2015.
Yes.
Which is a while ago now.
Yeah.
And I just remember the immediate connection and the beautiful warmth that we had when we first met and subsequently during our friendship. I remember some people describing Emma as a force of nature, and I certainly can concur with that. She had amazing energy, and we connected because she wanted to write, she told me. You know, she just wanted to write. So she wrote a few articles for Sequins and Sand about sun safety. And then we also got involved with the first Through the Looking Glass, which was Emma's big fundraiser. She was always awareness and raising funds for melanoma research, wasn't she, Tamra?
Absolutely, yes. To be able to focus on something positive was really important to her. Yeah.
So maybe we should backtrack a little bit now, and maybe would you like to talk a bit about your beautiful daughter and her story, her journey with melanoma?
Yeah, well, Emma finished school, finished year 12, went off to uni, and then from there headed over to East Timor to do some voluntary work in disability services. It was over there that they picked up the mole on her shoulder while she was out scuba diving. She came home, had it removed at the GP. It then came back that it had that it was a type of melanoma. So from that, they did a wider incision. She was diagnosed with stage 1, and we were told that, you know, moving forward, she would need regular skin checks, which I might add, she used to have skin checks before, but once you have one melanoma, the chances are there will be more. So she did that. She'd come home from Timor every 3 months at that stage, and she'd have her checks done. And it was about a year later that, still in Timor, she found a lump under her arm. She acted upon that very quickly. She was actually very close to finishing her term over there. So she actually packed up, came back here to Brisbane, went straight for a biopsy, and it was at that stage, stage 3. So there was not a lot of treatment options at that stage. So it was basically lots of PET scans to see if it had spread or whatever. And then we actually found out that, yes, it actually was stage 4. It had it was now like in her liver and her lungs. So it actually progressed very, very quickly. She was then put on what they call a targeted therapy, which for her actually fed the tumour. It just grew uncontrollably. So at that time, we were given like, maybe 6 months left with her, but they were just starting all their work into immunotherapy, and Emma was so lucky to get on a Keytruda trial, which she went on that. She moved her wedding forward just in case that treatment didn't work, but it did. So we went on to have 3 years of really good general health. And it wasn't until probably the last 3 or 4 months that she deteriorated. So she was on that drug for 2 years. And then there was progression on a few of the tumours. But, she was able to get married. She travelled. She started her blog, Dear Melanoma, started her online business. So it was just, it was just go, 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 trying to fit as much as possible into what life she had.
Yeah, incredible. And how quickly all of that just changed. Your lives were turned
absolutely.
inside out, upside down, in every direction in such a short space of time. So you talked about her blog there, Tamra, Dear Melanoma, and I know she loved to write. That, just share for those who are not aware of Dear Melanoma, just what an incredible vehicle that was.
Well, she did like to write, and it was her way of actually being able to put her feelings and vent down on paper. So what she decided that she would do is she would share it through social media. And from that, Dear Melanoma was born. And it went on to be very, very successful in educating. She was very raw. She would tell it as it was. Like a lot of times we would actually, by reading her blogs, we would actually be able to get more of an insight into how she was going than just sitting talking, face to face. But so Emma blogged right through to her passing, and it was at that point that Leon and I decided that no, we would not take over from that. That was her thing. So it was at that stage, her Dear Melanoma, we used the Dear Melanoma Facebook page to post anything relating to melanoma, or, lots of people want to know how we are, what's happening in our lives. So we do that through her Facebook page.
Yeah, incredible. And you're amazing to just be able to do that. And I know I shouldn't say just, an enormous transition to get your head around, how do we handle this? How do we do it? Dear Melanoma just took off, didn't it? It was stellar. Like, it was out into the universe. So many people connected with Emma's story and Serge's story too, and your story. Everyone was in that. But through having that amazing reach and network and following, then you are able to introduce other things, like raising awareness, raising funds, and Love Emma as well off the back of that, which is, this is where it went beyond her, and it still goes beyond her to an incredible legacy.
Well, when Emma passed, she had, I think it was like 15,500 followers, and we're now like 28,000 plus. So even after her passing, like the impact, and even, continually getting messages, about people that have, heard Emma's story, they've found a mole or something, and they've gone off to the doctor. They need to have it removed or whatever, or just the people that would never ever go and have a skin check done that now make it their yearly. Yeah.
Think of the lives she saved, Tamra.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So speaking of saving lives, have you, just because this is about melanoma awareness as well and talking about melanoma itself, I know you've got your hands on some stats, and can you just share with us what you know about melanoma itself?
Yeah. Well, this is actually from the Melanoma Institute site, and their latest facts and statistics. And it's expected that 16,000 people will be diagnosed with melanoma each year.
In Australia?
Yeah, in Australia, and every 30 minutes someone is being diagnosed. An estimated 1,300 people will die from melanoma in Australia this year. And one of the really frightening factors is that it's the most common cancer affecting 20 to 39-year-old Australians.
Yeah.
It's, third most common cancer in Australian men, and also the third most common cancer in Australian women after breast cancer and colon rectal cancer. So, yeah, it is actually really frightening.
It is frightening.
One of Emma's the things that she actually did, she's very proactive in speaking to young people at schools, prior to kids going off on schoolies and, things like that. So.
Yeah, I remember being completely shocked by that it was the number one cancer, causing death among people in their early 20s.
Yes.
That is just staggering. And so many of us think of melanoma as being an older person's cancer, because as you age, more exposure to the sun, the risk factors go up as you age. But we need to know that we have to start young with this. It's not just for the old.
Yeah. And I mean, prior to Emma's diagnosis, we heard of melanoma.
Yeah.
But we knew nothing about it, nothing about it at all. And we were shocked when, we found out the extent. And because I think in a lot of people's minds is you get it cut out and you're okay.
Yeah.
But, it's just not that.
Place. Yeah, absolutely. So, a lot of Emma's work, and now yours, you have taken on her wish, part of her legacy, which is to continue on. She was such a big advocate for research, wasn't she? She wanted others to benefit from what she went through to help find a cure for this horrible cancer.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about how that happens now?
All the profits from Love Emma on the online shop all go to the Institute, as well as any fundraising that we do, through with our past fundraising events, which Emma started through the Looking Glass. The Melanoma Institute has named a scholarship in her name. So it's the Emma Betts PhD scholarship. And we support with our fundraising and our sales from our profits from the Love Emma. So we support a research student doing this PhD, and they work alongside some of the gurus at the Institute, where all the amazing research is happening at the moment. And so this actually funds this to be able to happen. And because it was so important to Emma to find a cure, clinical trials, anything to, she was lucky to be able to extend her life. So everything that, every little bit of dollars goes back into that scholarship.
Yeah, that's extraordinary. And
Yeah.
have you had any feedback on have they had some breakthroughs through that
Oh, yeah.
scholarship?
Well, Jordan Conway is the recipient at present, and he has done some amazing work, which kind of covers very much like Emma's issue with melanoma, in that he's been actually investigating why some people respond to treatment and others don't, or why some have a partial response, which was Emma. She only had a partial response. And just the beginning of this year, he actually presented a paper to a big international melanoma at a conference. So he's doing really, really great work. We keep in contact with Jordan, and the Institute constantly keep us up to date with what is going on, and we share that through Dear Melanoma and the Love Emma Facebook as well, just so that people know what we're doing with our money.
Yeah, that's really important. And so, Tamra, does that change every year? Does the scholarship roll over to somebody else, or does it stay with that person for a
It's
bit
at
of
the moment
time?
Jordan has it. So he was the recipient in 2019, and
Right.
he is continuing with it until he's finished what he's actually doing, and then it'll be handed on to someone else.
Right. Fantastic.
So it's up to the Melanoma Institutes, that they pick the recipient.
Right. And then they determine how long that stays with that recipient,
Yeah.
depending on the nature of the research they're doing, I guess. And what
that's
stage
right.
they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
fantastic.
yeah, I suppose, they don't want to be pulling someone off when they're halfway through institute with the actual research.
Absolutely. So you talked about a couple of things there, the Dear Melanoma and Love Emma. So I'm just going to share my screen, because I think that there will be so many people watching who want to know more about Emma's story, but also how they can help with the funding of the research, and so that we can find a cure for this insidious cancer that affects so many people. Just bear with me while I share the screen,
right.
and we'll show them where to go. There we go. So now, what do you see, Tamra? Do you see the Dear Melanoma?
Dear Melanoma.
Great. So there's beautiful Emma, and that was her favorite quote. I remember that being up there for a very long time. There she is. And that's where you talk about, transitioning the blog.
Yes.
And then up the top here, so there's lots of different things that you can still investigate. But this one here, if we click on the shop, that takes us to Love Emma. And just tell us a little bit about Love Emma and what you do in Love Emma, Tamra.
Okay. So Love Emma started in January of 2016. So Emma worked in a little gift shop, and one day a customer was there, and she had a friend who had breast cancer, and she said to Emma, would you be able to help me put together a few little gifts for my friend? And Emma said, and she didn't often share her personal life with customers, but she just felt the need to say, yes, I can actually do this. I know exactly what your friend's going through. I have melanoma. So she kind of come away from that, and she thought, oh, wow, I could actually do something like this. I could have an online store. So her boss at the time supported her very much in helping her get that set up. So it was hard for her to start off with, because, she wanted to make lots of money really, really quickly. And I remember her saying to me, oh, Mum, I think I'll just close it down. It's going to be too difficult. And in 2017, when she really became really unwell, I actually said to her that I was going to keep Love Emma going. And she kind of had a bit of a laugh at me because I have no like retail background whatsoever. And she said, "Oh no, you'll never be able to." Well, I've done it.
Proven her wrong. I wonder where she gets
it very wrong.
Yeah, it's good on you.
So, I did suspend it just shut it down for a few months after Emma's death, and then I got it up and going again, and it's doing really, really well. Where I'm so proud of it actually. But so I've kind of Emma started it purely with like care packages. Where I've kind of taken it, and she would sell a few single items, individual items, but I've kind of taken it one step further where I can actually give people the option of customizing their own box.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, everything's bought here in Australia. I've got I'm surrounded by some wonderful people who give me ideas and steer me in different directions. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of Love Emma.
You should be very proud of Love Emma. And I know Emma would be bloody proud of you. That's awesome. Absolutely. So we'll just have a quick tour of the Love Emma site. There are the gift boxes, and there's all different sorts, and as you say, they can also customize their own box. But we're coming into Christmas, and there are some beautiful Christmas decorations in there as well, and some cards. They're very, very thoughtful. Oh, there's the Sunbella stuff. Yay!
Yeah,
they do a great job too. They're still going from strength to strength.
They are
things. Oh, just lovely. And 100% of the profits from Love Emma goes to the Melanoma Institute to fund that scholarship, which is absolutely amazing. So from here, you can also go back to see the Dear Melanoma blog and know a little bit more. I just think that's extraordinary. You are extraordinary, Emma. Emma is extraordinary. I'm not going to say Emma was extraordinary, because Emma is extraordinary. And,
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, this is a testament to that. I can't thank you enough. I'm going to put some links in the discussion to the Melanoma Institute. So if people would like to go and donate there off their own bat aside, so we'll put the link where they can go there to support the scholarship. And also I'll put a link to the store for Love Emma as well, and Dear Melanoma. Is there anything that you would like to leave our audience with, the people who have tuned in today?
Just get your skin checked.
A simple message that can make a big difference. Cover up.
Emma used to always say, sun's not an enemy. It's there to be enjoyed, but you just need to think about things that you do when you're enjoying it.
Yeah, and respect it, right?
And respect it. That's it. Yeah. Look after the skin you're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Tamra, thank you so much. I have thoroughly
enjoyed it.
And thank you for putting yourself out there to tell the story. It's quite an incredible one, and I know that many of the women tuning in today will find out a little bit more information, and I'm sure many of them will give you the support through Love Emma or directly to the Institute.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. And get your skin checked, girls. That's the number one thing. And all of your family, right? That's the number one step. Thanks, Tamra.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.